I had always believed that trust was the foundation of a marriage, that if you loved someone enough, respected them enough, you could weather anything together. I was wrong. It happened at a party for her work, a casual, friendly gathering with colleagues I didn't know well, held at a rooftop bar downtown. I had tagged along, hoping to socialize, support her, and maybe get a glimpse of the world she spent so much time in. I had no idea it would be the night I finally saw her for who she had become. She was laughing, holding a glass of wine, radiant in her excitement. And then I noticed him. One of her colleagues, a man I had met only once before, was standing far too close. I watched as he leaned in, resting his hand on the small of her back. I thought maybe it was a casual gesture, a friendly touch, but then his hand lingered, his arm draped over her shoulder, pulling her closer, leaning in as if she were the only person in the room. I froze. My mind raced. She noticed him, laughed at something he whispered, touched his chest lightly with her hand. All the while I stood there clutching my drink, ignored, invisible. It wasn't the first time she had flirted or acted distant over the past year, but seeing him put his hands on her like I wasn't even there, cut deeper than any argument or silent treatment ever could. I wanted to speak. I wanted to storm over, shout, demand respect, but I didn't. I stayed quiet, observing, letting the situation unfold. There's a strange power in silence when someone expects confrontation. After a few minutes, I walked over, casually, smiling like everything was fine. I put my hand on her arm, gently. She turned to me, surprised, almost startled that I was there, like she had forgotten I existed. "Hey," I said softly. Her colleague stepped back, surprised too. "Oh, hi," he muttered, not quite knowing what to do. Her smile faltered. "Hey," she replied, a little nervously. I looked at both of them. Calm, measured. "Interesting conversation," I said lightly, my tone casual but loaded. She looked confused, panic flashing in her eyes. "It's nothing," she said quickly, trying to regain control. I raised an eyebrow. "It looked like something," I replied, letting the words hang. The rest of the evening passed in tension. I stayed near her, polite, calm, giving her the space to adjust while silently showing that I wasn't the oblivious husband she seemed to think I was. Her colleague excused himself shortly after, and I watched her composure unravel. The glow she had worn like armor earlier was gone. On the way home, silence filled the car. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I let her stew. Sometimes, witnessing the truth sink in is punishment enough. Later that night, I confronted her, not with anger, not with yelling, but with quiet clarity. I laid out what I had seen, what I had felt, and how betrayed I was. She tried to justify it, claiming it was innocent, that I was overreacting, that I was imagining things. But the details, the lingering touch, the way she laughed, the way she leaned into him, it all contradicted her story. "I wasn't invisible," I said quietly, voice steady. "I saw everything." Her eyes went wide. For the first time, I saw fear in her expression. Fear not for herself, but for the control she thought she had, slipping away in an instant. We didn't resolve everything that night. We argued over the following days, unpacked her actions, the distance that had grown between us, and the betrayals I had ignored until they became undeniable. I realized that trust, once broken like this, cannot be patched with words or excuses. It requires choice, action, boundaries. I had a choice too: forgive, confront, or walk away. I chose clarity first. I made her understand the depth of the betrayal, the pain of being disregarded, of being invisible in your own marriage, and I made her understand that the era of her taking liberties with my trust was over. Months later, the incident at the party became a turning point. We sought counseling, set boundaries, and rebuilt, or at least attempted to rebuild, the pieces of our relationship. But I never forgot the feeling of seeing her with someone else's hands on her body, her attention elsewhere, like I wasn't even there. It was a stark reminder that betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a touch, a look, a laugh, a gesture that erodes your trust slowly until you realize the foundation is gone. From that night on, I promised myself two things: never ignore the signs, and never allow someone to make me invisible in my own life. Seeing her like that hurt more than words can express, but it also taught me the importance of standing firm, setting boundaries, and valuing yourself even when the person you loved forgets to. Sometimes betrayal is obvious. Sometimes it's subtle. And sometimes it's as simple and as devastating as someone putting their hands on the person you love while pretending you don't exist.